Hi, it's Vim from Model Maker Systems, and today I illustrate to you how to use the Model Maker general strings. I'm going to open a file which contains my survey. You can open the same file in your demo data folder under your user profile. And I'm only going to open the bot file. This is the survey, and then if I go to the strings function, gxt on the left hand side, and add and new, it opens up this pop-up. On the left hand side you'll see there is a shortcut menu for the strings, and for now I'll just move it to the left here. The top one there opens the same window, gxt add. We're only going to look at the general strings, and we're going to first just do a section and illustrate how to do that. So I'm just going to call it string, the layer name I'm also going to call string, and I'm going to choose a pen. I'm going to say interpolate from model. The node name, I'm going to say this is A, increment alphabetical, so the next point will be B. And then you use one of these methods to draw the string. I'm going to say indicate. Let me just normal plot to see my survey. I'm going to snap freehand and just draw a section through this survey. And then I escape or right click and close. Now to view this section, I go to gxt vertical view. I click on the string and then escape or right click again. You can show either the ground, the string, or the crossing strings. I'm going to show the ground and the string. The vertical distortion I'm going to make 5, and extend the ground line is from the end of this point and from the end of that point. How much longer must it extract? I'm just going to say 0, so it only shows me from that point to that point. Then I say OK, and there is my string. The blue line and the yellow line is my ground profile, and that is my section. This is not a CAD screen now, it's just a section view, and from here I can plot that as a long section. I can go to special, copy to CAD. Under the defaults here, I can set my different settings of what I want to plot. If you want to see the slopes, you can turn that on. And if you want to change the colors of any one of the graph's information, you can go to main heading, choose your pen color, the layer name and the size and the font, and then just apply it to that and go through each one of these to set it up the way you want it. I'm going to say OK again, and under the setup I'm going to leave the scales as they are. I'm going to say a single continuous length. I'm going to now say OK, and the result must go to CAD, plot to CAD. My snap mode is still free, so I just put it next to my drawing there, and then I cancel. It takes me back to my section view, and remember I clicked on special and then copy to CAD. So right click once. Now I can click on special again to go to that previous menu, but I want to go to the plan view. I click on horizontal. And now I'm back on the plan view and I can see my section. This is now just normal CAD lines, and if I ID them, I can now move my selection to where I want it and shift and right click, ID new, do with it whatever I want. I'm just going to press Ctrl Z to delete the section. I don't want it, and there it's gone. I pressed it twice. What I'm going to do now is a design. So again, I'm just going to delete the string. I say gxt delete, And then I'm just going to do a design of a earth dam. So I say GXT add new. I know the elevation of this survey is more or less in the 70 meters, 60 meters. So I'm going to untick the interpolate from model and give it the elevation there of 70 meters. And the node names in this case is not important, the string name as well. I'm just going to call it top. And then I say indicate, and freehand I'm going to just draw around the boundary of where I want to design this dam of mine. This can be just a kind of a round earth dam. I changed my snap mode to any. I pressed my spacebar to get the snap modes, and then I close here. So there's my string. I'm just going to turn off my contours. My pen is gray, so it's not that clear, so I'm just going to change that. GXT edit and string info. Click on the string, and then I'm just going to change this color to blue and say OK. Okay, that's better. Now I can leave my contours on again. Sorry, not the DTM, the contours. Okay, so next I'm just going to draw a parallel string on the same height as this one for the top part of this dam. So I go GXT add new, and I choose the parallel option. I'm going to choose on the inside. The pop-up just opened on the other window. I move it over here, and I say I want it to be 10 meters wide. No elevation difference, so I make it 0. Then I select OK. So there's my string 10 meters on the inside, and I'm just going to clean up this part here. If I turn my contours off. So there's a display button where you can see the nodes, which are the endpoint and bend points of the string. We call them nodes. And to trim this, there's not that much advanced commands in the strings, but you can use the edit commands, GXT edit, or the shortcut then GXT edit. There's an option node move, and I can move that node with the snap mode any to that intersection. The elevation stays on 70 meters, and I move that node to that point on 70 meters. The circle indicates that there's two nodes on top of each other there as well. That's the beginning and the end nodes, and the other ones you'll see is just stars, and they don't have duplicates. The end result will be that we place DTM points on all these red dots, so it will place 2 points on there, and then when we do a C search, it will ask us to get rid of the duplicates. Next, I'm going to create the inside of this dam, and I'm going to make it 6 meters away from that and 6 meters lower. So the dam is going to be 6 meters deep and 6 meters away, so the inside slope is going to be 1 to 1. So to do that, I say GXT add new, parallel again on the inside of this string. Sorry, I just move it over to the screen again, 6 meters. And then the elevation difference -6. Positive 6 will go higher, -6 will go lower. Then I say OK, and again I just clean this part here. I escape, and then I go to edit, node move that node. The snap mode is still any. Now you can see the elevation is 6 meters lower than the 64 meters, and that one as well. Now I've created the dam, and the only thing I need to do now is create a tow line on the outside. But before I do that, I want to balance the volume of this dam so that the cut and fill volume are equal. So I need to create a model to do that. So I go to GXT Utilities, And one method to add DTM points on here is with the string to DTM. And I just click on this one. Now I place it in a different survey project, project 2. So by selecting 2 there, it automatically activates project 2 there. I say OK. The next string, also project 2, and the next string, also project 2. Then if I replot, you'll see the DTM points are green, they are of project 2. And then I can do a C search, triangle and C search. And if I turn the contours on again and just turn project 1's display off, there you can see my earth dam, the design is done. If I look in 3D, this is what it looks like. So I haven't created the tow line yet, and I'm just going to close here. And now if I turn project 1 on again, I want to create a tow line on the outside at a certain slope, and I want to balance it. So I first go to the tow option, tow, and then parameters, and I give it my specific slope that I want to use. I'm going to leave it on a slope of 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Tow points at every 0 meters there will then use this tow points at every so many meters. So I'm going to make that 10 meters. And add every tow point, yes, and sharp cut corners, no. I'm not going to explain this now. You can watch the video on cut and fill to see that. And then I say OK. That's just a parameter. Then I go to the cut and fill part, cut and fill at the bottom, and I tell it my ground project is in project 1. That's that file plat.ngl, and my design project I'm busy with in project 2. Then I use the balance option here, balance. I give it a grid interval of 0.5 meters and I say OK. I'm going to say all the triangles, and if you're a contractor, you can give it a compaction factor based on that description there on top. Then I say OK. Calculate temporary tow lines. That's the tow line parameters we set of 1 to 2, and I say yes. If you say no, it's just going to do it straight down and straight up in the cut and fill positions. So I say yes, and you'll see it creates a temporary tow line on the outside until it finds a balance. There it wants to add 3.383 meters to the current design of the dam. Then I say yes. And if I look in 3D, then you will see that it now actually lifted the survey out of the ground. The only problem I have is the strings did not move. The strings are still on their original elevation. The ground is the only one that moved. And then I say close. Sorry, it actually moved it down, not up. So to get the strings again on the same level as the current survey of project 2, I'm going to go GXD edit, and there's an option here, update as built. Now I'm going to click on the string, and this is the node elevation. Remember that was 70 meters, and the survey elevation of that new string is now 66.617 after the balance. So I'm going to say update only the elevation, okay, and do it for this string as well and for the inside string. You actually just need to do it for the outside one, but just for illustration I did all of them. If I do the 3D view again, virtual 3D, I'm just going to check my colors here, sorry. Use the triangle color and just apply that to all the projects. Okay, there's my strings on top. Let me put it together with the survey, virtual 3D, There's my strings, and they're on the green project 2. So now everything is balanced and the string is on the same level. The reason I did the strings to that level is when we do the toe line string, it must be on the level of project 2. So to do the toe line string, I go to GXT, add, and then there's an option toe line. Then I click on the option of my slopes 1 to 2. Interval of toe points, I'm going to make it 10 meters again. Place toe points at nodes of base string must be on, and I'm going to do the toe line from this string to project 1, which is the ground line. Then I say OK, and I click on the outside of the string, and it creates my toe line. Now I don't have survey points on this outside string yet, so to add points on there, I go to GXT, utilities, and string to DTM. Automatically incorporate points, yes or no here doesn't matter, so I'm just going to say no. Click on this string and tell it to put the points in project 2. Then I say OK. Now I don't have triangles between these two, so I'm gonna just turn off project 1's display here. So currently if I turn my triangle fill on there on top, and I go to triangle and display, if I display project 2 for you by 3D slope, it's gonna, sorry, not that one, not the sides, the triangle fill. If I turn that on, you'll see that currently there's triangles on here, but not between the top part and the toe line. So to add triangles there, I have to go to triangle, see search. There's already triangles, so I just say continue search, and now it closes my model, and I can now just go and delete the triangles on the outside of my toe line string. So you can see that if I turn the fill off again, there's some triangles there that is on the outside, and I'm just going to wipe them. Wipe line, go through that, right click, yes, and this one here, right click, yes. There's some outside here as well. So I just clean my outside, that there's no triangles on the outside of the toe line. That will have an influence on your volume, and then I can do the cut and fill volume to get my final result. So if I go to cut and fill at the bottom, and I use the grid option, my projects is correct. 1 is the ground, 2 is the design, 0,5, I say OK. The white part is fill, the red part is cut, and there you can see that it's not a close balance, but if you want it closer, you'll now have to lift or drop the survey a bit more. Because it calculated temporary toe lines, it might not be exactly the way you expect it, but it should be close. Then I close here, and I'm gonna now do a section again. So I draw a string, I say GXT, add new, and I'm just gonna call it section AA. My node name A, and I'm going to say increment numerical A1, so the second point is going to be A2. Choose just a different pen, say OK, and this time I tick interpolate from model again, that the string is on the level of the project where I selected. I say indicate. I'm just going to make project 1 active, because wherever I click, it's going to interpolate that elevation now. Snap mode free. So where I click there, it picks up the elevation of that triangles in project 1. And if I click there, that's my section now. If I right click and close, I don't need these other strings anymore, so I'm just going to delete them. GXT delete. That one, this one, and this one. So I only have this string. I'm going to turn the DTM display off. And now you can see the section name there. If I go to the string GOP button, or I go to GXT info and display, I have an option to put the name on the string. I'm going to put it in the middle of the string. And I have an option to put the description of those nodes. That's the A1, A2. And then I say replot on exit and say OK. There you can see is the A1 and A2. Sorry, A and A1. I did not change that first one to A1. And there's the string name, section AA. Now to do this section, I'm going to do it different than the first one. You can watch the video again if you want to do it the same as the first one. I'm not going to vertical view it. I'm going to say GXT utility string to long section. That's the same option as this GXTL section. I'm going to say I want to see only the ground. I don't want to see the string this time. And the result must be CAD. I click on the string, and now I can plot it to CAD. I can give it my plot heading, and the rest of the selection I'm going to leave the same for now and say OK. Plot to CAD. If your result is not right, you can just go back and do it again. My snap mode is free and I put it down. And there's my section now. I'm still in the section mode, so if I want to continue to do another section, if you maybe drawn 2 or 3 sections, I can now just click on the next string and continue from there. I'm just going to say OK to do the same section now and plot to CAD, and then I can just put the next section next to this one. Okay, I'm just going to escape and Control Z to delete that one. And now I just want to show you the yellow part is project 1. That's yellow. And then the dam design is the green. That's project 2. Okay, and that's my earth dam design. You can then, by doing the following, I'm just going to calculate the volume of the water, using the cut and fill to do the water volume calculation. So if I press F5, I have an option to turn on the elevation, and wherever I move my cursor, it shows me the elevation of the active project. There you can see project 2 is active, and at the bottom right it shows me the elevation where I move my cursor. The top of the dam is 66.617 meters, so I'm going to make the water level 66.6. So I go to cut and fill, and I type in there 66. I do the design between the design project, project 2, which is the dam, and this flat surface, which is the water level. If this tick is on, it does not use the ground project. Then I say grid area, and I say OK, and I say indicate an area. I'm going to define the area. Now I want to show only the part where the water is going to be. So this is just on the outside of where the water is going to be. If you don't do that, it's going to calculate water volume on the outside there as well, and there's not going to be any water on the outside. Then I say accept. Wherever it's red, that's where my water volume is, and that's going to represent the cut volume. The white volume I ignore, so this is my cut volume, and that's the fill which I ignore, and this is going to be my water volume for this reservoir. And then if I want to merge these two projects into each other, I go to that option there, 123 PRO, copy, and I say copy project 2, which is the dam design, into project 1, and I say all the points. I say OK. All these tick boxes are on, and it merges my two projects. And now I can see only the final contours. Even if I turn off project 1 now, project 2, this is my final design, and now I can't do the volume calculation anymore because the two projects are merged. And if I view it in 3D, it shows me my final result. So there's my dam, it's designed, and that's my final result.